Well, it's the first game happening in Jaipur, and Rajasthan has the Bangalore team visiting them. Remember, Bangalore has a good record when they're travelling, and that may be playing on Rajasthan's mind. Feel like it is just a little bit, because Rajasthan's start, I don't know what to make of it. It's good they've only lost one wicket, but they've only got 76 runs. So it seems like you don't know which side you want to be on right now, but perhaps Bangalore's?
Look, I think you would prefer to be Bangalore because even if conditions are not necessarily as good as you might have expected, with a score on the board, you kind of know how much you have to do. And this is why in discussion of what do you bat first, do you bowl first, teams generally prefer to bowl first if they win the toss, because they can do the calculation is done for them. They don't have to try and work it out from assessment. And however, in watching and seeing how things went on that pitch early on, some of the balls kind of stayed low. It's not as easy a pitch to just tee off. That said, a team that has had openers that haven't necessarily gone so well, and a guy who's trying to get into form, might have him go a little more conservative than a guy who's in form. So all of those together say maybe a little slower than they would like, but better that option than try and go out too hard and be 3 down at this stage and not as many runs.
Because they don't have a long batting. Rajasthan does not have a long batting.
They don't have
that
luxury.
Could be playing on their mind as well. Bangalore, though, had a dream start. When you bowl your first 4 overs in the power play for a run a ball, you're like, let me just hug my bowlers and weigh them in gold.
It's like going back in time. Right? Because you're like, what? They went for how many?
It's like a one-day international from the late 90s.
Correct. It's like a long way back in time, because in 2020s, we're talking about guys who are being particularly good and over a period of time, going at sort of 8.5, right?
Correct.
And so if you're going at less than 8.5, and we're talking on average, right? So 8.5, if you're going less than 8.5 in the power play in this season alone, then you're bossing it. So,
exactly. So as I look down it, obviously they opened the bowling with Bhuvi. His first over was 6 runs. Then Yash Dayal bowled the second for 7. Bhuvi the third for 6. Hazelwood the fourth for 5. That's a great start. And look, and those figures show that, right? Bhuvi, yet again, doing what he does in the power play, even better. He's been going at about a run a ball, just a tad over 6 in the power play. And when you've got that kind of experience, that kind of guile, and you use it, that's gold for a team. And Josh Hazelwood bowling those test lengths. And then I guess, you change colors depending on your company, right? And that's what Yash Dayal is doing. So it's making him a little better as well.
Yeah, look, Yash Dayal is a good bowler. No question about that. And when the conditions suit, when you're in a group that's quite experienced, and it's not to say he isn't per se, but he's kind of going to raise himself to speak about changing your colors as well. So it's good to see him in that group, and I think he'll thrive in that group. Problem for him in the field, he's got to concentrate, because Suyash, instead of going for 11, should have gone for 7 with a wicket. Now he's looking like the guy, when many read the score book many years later, they'll say, oh, this guy didn't start so well, but he should have had a wicket, despite it being a short ball. You don't want to miss chance.
Yeah, I mean, that catch, my technical analysis is that my 7-year-old nephew would have caught it. I'm just saying. And trust me, I'm not being mean.
Yeah, we will ensure you refrain from technical analysis because you said that.
Okay, if I was to take you back to gully cricket, that wasn't a lollipop catch, that was 2 lollipops. Fair enough?
No, harsh.
It was here.
Okay, harsh, but fair.
Yeah, and he would not want to do that. And Bangalore, you could see what it meant to their fans, because that wicket there could make a difference, because that was Riyan Parag. Right? Cut it, point. I'm just saying that could make a difference of 20, 30 runs easy, because we've seen what Riyan Parag can do after he kicks on.
And the difference it makes, more than anything else, and it could add up to 20, 30 runs, maybe even more, is that because of difficulty of surface or a lack of ease with regard to the surface, what you want is to ensure there are new batters coming in all the time, because they'll take 2, 3, 4, 5 balls to try and get accustomed to the pace of the surface.
Yes.
But when you have 2 batters who've been there some time, then they kind of buy time, and they can go earlier and dominate for a bit longer, and that's where the 20 and 30 runs come in. And it makes a difference of, do they get 160 or do they get 180? And it's looking kind of like that ballpark at this
Yeah, it is. That's the kind of surface, and it almost seems like Sanju Samson when he was playing, Yashasvi Jaiswal, these guys are experienced, and Sanju has played just so much on this surface. He's perhaps one of those players, you lean on to say, within the first over or 2 overs, guys, this looks like a 175, 180 kind of pitch, and they seem to be playing around. Then if anything else that they can get as a bonus will definitely test Bangalore. All right, so that's 77 in 10 overs. Let's see how many they can get in the back 10. They seem to have, besides Sanju, they have all their batters right now to still come into play or playing already. So, yeah, they could be looking realistically at a 200-ish kind of score, which on this surface could be very good. That's all we have time for on Cricbuzz Comm Box. We're going to see you on Cricbuzz Live at the end of this innings, so do join us then.